Today's video is going to be part 2 of plyometric and vertical training. We're going to go through some plyometric and vertical variations based off of my last video, some change of direction things, and a few more accessory exercises you should be doing to really make sure your tendons are healthy to avoid injuries from all the jumping in your sports. If you want to see the whole workout where you have like the warm-up, the exercises, and cool down, that's my last video, which will be linked in the description below, that has the full complete start to finish. The first exercise we're going to do is box jumps, but we're going to do them a little bit differently than traditionally how you would set it up. Oftentimes people like to put the box up as high as they can, and when they're jumping, they're doing as much of a knee tuck as possible to make the vertical. What we want to do is emphasize the true vertical, so how far our feet are getting off our ground. So we're going to be lowering the box and trying to put it at a height where when we jump, we're almost kind of just floating and landing just on top of it, because our knees are going to be extended, or our knees will be straight or relatively straight when we're in the air. So it's more emphasizing the true vertical of jumping straight up, having the legs straight beneath us and floating on top of the box to really relate to what sports truly are like when you're jumping. Unlike gymnastics, when yes, you're doing tuck jumps and those sorts of things, this is going to be more relatable to like volleyball and basketball and other jumping sports. We want to be focusing on power. So we'll be looking at 3 to 5 reps of anywhere from 4 to 8 reps, because we want 100% effort in our box jumps to really emphasize teaching that quickness, that speed, that power of getting up higher. As you get more comfortable and your vertical is increasing, you can go from the 2-footed to the single foot variation, and of course, up the height of the box. Really work on that explosive power. One thing I really like to do with my athletes is work on landing as an exercise. So we're going to just do a standing vertical jump and then landing on one leg. This is just important to kind of train optimal landing patterns so that hopefully some of it transfers to sports. Obviously, this isn't going to be perfect when you're playing, but this at least gets your body used to landing and absorbing force. So you're going to do jumping off of 2 feet, landing on 1. And the idea is to really absorb impact and kind of sit into that single leg squat. You don't want to be landing hard with your legs straight to really send the force through the joints. You want to be landing soft and absorbing force. This will make you better when you're in different change of direction scenarios or you're off balance, because you've at least trained it in a specific controlled environment. For doing this, I like to do 2 to 3 sets of somewhere between 6 to 12 reps per leg, really kind of working on that control. When we're landing, we're being very mindful of training as best as we can optimal position, keeping the hip, the knee, and the ankle in a nice vertical line, not letting our knee buckle in or our hips drop. We're just trying to be as stable as we can. See 2 videos ago for more about the knee stability. Next, we're going to do a change of direction exercise. This utilizes both lateral and forward movements. We're going to do the L jump. This is one of my favorites to just get all these different motions kind of combined into one, where you have to jump laterally, land, control yourself, and then forward propulsions or forward broad jump with single leg. So you're training stability, you're training power, you're training change of directions, and your ability to be elastic and quick to absorb force and then exert force. For doing this exercise, I do it both directions. So jumping to the left, jumping to the right. Initially, you can jump and land on 2 feet and then jump with 1 foot. But as you get better, try jumping from 1 foot to the other and then jumping forward with 1 foot only. So making it a single leg exercise, because that's going to have the most direct impact to your performance and to your sport. For this one, usually 3 to 4 sets, somewhere between 3 to 8 reps per leg. Once you get up to 8 reps, you should be trying to make it a little bit more challenging, because you want to be in that power zone. So you want to be doing max efforts. So for a plyometric day, I like to try to aim for between 6 to 12 sets of plyometric training, depending on where you are in your season, depending on your beginner, whether you're novice or advanced. So just kind of building up, finding the right balance, trying to have a good mix of single leg power and trying to have a good mix of stability and landing with your plyometrics. Now we're going to get into some tendon loading for the patellar tendon and the Achilles tendon to help prevent jumper's knee and Achilles tendinopathy, which are common in jumping and plyometric training in athletes. What we have here is a reverse Nordic curl. Traditionally, Nordic curls are used for hamstring eccentrics, really important for sprinting and athletic performance. We're going to do the reverse Nordic curl, which is also important for sprinting and athletes because it's the lengthening of the quads and down to the patellar tendons. This is a double leg variation, but still very effective. What you're going to do is you're going to be up in this kind of kneeling position. Your feet can be rolled onto the balls or it can be flat. Doesn't matter, it just depends on individual preference. You're going to be extended through the hips. So you're not going to be crouched over at all. This is going to shorten the quads. We want extension straight through the hips to keep the quads long, because we're trying to do an eccentric exercise to lengthen the quads with load. With the quads long, you're going to keep the core engaged, and you can have your arms on your hips, cross your body, or just however you like. You're going to lean back comfortably and then come back up. Now this really gets the quads, the patellar tendons, and your hip flexors as you're lengthening with load. What you want to try and do is just see how far back you can control comfortably and then come back up. This is all in this slow lowering or the slow lengthening phase. We are not trying to rush this down quickly and then shoot back up, because we really want to emphasize that eccentric. This is going to help offset all of our concentric exercises of jumping, keeping the quads long and strong. You want to ideally do this for 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 8 to 15 reps. Once you kind of max out 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 15 reps, you can even start to hold weights to add a little bit more load. Again, always emphasizing that eccentric position. Last, we have eccentric heel raises. This helps to lengthen and strengthen our Achilles tendon. This is going to be really important because our calves do so much concentric work with plantar flexion when we're walking, jogging, sprinting, and definitely when we're jumping. So we need the Achilles tendons long and strong. So to do the eccentric version, what you're going to do is have 2 feet over the edge of a step. You're going to go up on 2, down on 1, up on 2, down on 1. This is really important to get that eccentric load through the Achilles tendon. So I'm going down on a 1, 2, 3, 4 count, and then up together. Down on a 1, 2, 3, 4 count, up together. So I'm trying to go down as far as I can comfortably to really get that stretch, get that length, and I'm coming all the way up to the top with 2 feet. Ideally, you want to be doing this for anywhere between 2 to 3 sets of 8, working up to 15 reps. So we need a lot of reps to kind of influence the tendons to make sure that they're durable, resilient, and have good length and strength. So we're going to go up on 2, down on 1 with a 4 count. So a 1, 2, 3, 4. Going up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to really keep your calves strong and prevent Achilles tendinopathy and Achilles ruptures. So there we have it. We covered some more plyometric vertical related exercise variations with the box jumps, some change of direction, and we went over 2 really important accessory exercises for the lengthening and strengthening of our quads and our calves. This video really helps to support the previous 2 videos, the first being the knee stability, and then that first single leg plyometric. So now you have a complete leg program that you can kind of build where you're working on knee stability, single leg loading, vertical, change of direction, and some good accessory movements to really keep everything strong. Ideally for leg training, you're trying to hit at least 2 to 3 times per week, changing in the different factors of strength, power, and stability. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below of something that you'd be interested to see next. Tune in next time.